Greetings, my relatives. So, after going through some really powerful 13-day cycles, we find ourselves now on the Hunahpu, the Lords of the Light. It begins their sacred journey. These are the Christ consciousness. These are the Buddha state. These are the great teachers of humanity, manifesting in with great teachings, great guidance, because they're going to show us the way in 13 days from now, 13 What are the journeys? What are the destinies in which, when we are with in alignment with the universe, alignment with earth, alignment with good feelings, with respect, with love, with care? Sure, there's great powers coming at the Lords of the Light, at those who keep sacred things. And they want to come and get it, tear it up, destroy it. It's a threat to their systems. But Hunahpu comes in as the bright sun. Throughout the times, throughout ages, when we got to this level of confusion and chaos, the sacred beings are born, like Gandhi, Martin Luther King, other great leaders who we know many of their names, even like John Lennon singing about peace and love, and, but they all seem to get killed in violence, because Khmer, they don't want them. It's a threat to their system. So, and they're willing to do all kinds of things. I will not see Mother Teresa or Gandhi or Christ go around killing people, lying about them, discredit them, trying to hurt them, destroy the earth. I wouldn't see Martin Luther King doing that. And so these sacred leaders, these great teachings, we have them at this day, starts their cycle. Hunahpu, what is it that they can hold? And so in this Hunahpu, they start to manifest. They got the ball, the ball on the ball court, and they throw the ball, and guess who is in the middle to try to catch it? 7 Khmer. The name of the lords of the underworld is Hun Wuku Khmer, 1-7 Khmer. And they're standing right there. Just like when we had the cycle of the Hunish, 13 Khmer, the lords of the underworld are feasting, and then right in the middle is that sacred consciousness of the 7 Ajpus. Now it's the other way. Now 7 Khmer waiting there. To the Lords of the Light, is this true? I'm going to challenge you. We're going to come at you. We're going to lie about you. We're going to use their force, their weapons, their yokes, their lies. They have the powerful, very powerful systems. But the ages will go, and then we see that they cannot have it all. They'll have themselves. They'll have their wealth and their power. But eventually, the evolution of humanity will come in, because that's a dead end. There's no outlet out of the underworld. And that's where they live. That's where they feast. That's who they live here in this earth, doing things like that. So Hunahpu comes in and says, "Oh, let me try it out. Let me remind you what is sacred. Let me show you what sacred time is about. Nobody's there to insult you, to belittle, to disrespect you. They're teaching us the beauty. They're teaching us about peace, about respect. And what's it going to take? Yeah, they got to go into the underworld. Got to be challenged as well, because is it true that the spirit lives in there? Is it true that the earth needs to be cleansed and purified and protected and cared for? This is our home. So Wuku Khmer is right there, and once it's gone, the very next day the Maya is celebrating Wakshakikech, 8 deer. This is when the medicine people are visited by the communities. The people come and say, thank you. Matios Tat, Matios Nan, thank you. Grandfathers, great, thank you. Grandmothers, thank you to the sacred leadership. Thank you for those sacred people who keep the ceremonies, to keep that way of life. And so, Waxaquiquech is a big ceremony, a lot of ceremonies to honor those who are navigating out of the underworld. They're all not perfect. They're having incredible challenges. But it's how we get through those challenges that makes us spiritual beings. To trust and believe that Creator is there, that the Mother Earth is sacred, and that we will continue to share those ways, because the very next day the seed sprouts. Finally, Belecheb Kanil, the 9 cycles of the seeds now opens. Like if you take a bunch of seeds, plant them, water them, certain days later it starts to sprout. This is the effort of like I said, the teachings of Christ, or the teachings of the Buddha, or other great teachers. It wasn't about creating a religious like a network, or a religious like impacted, forceful dogma, but to be the spiritual teachings of the Christ. Is like very few Christians are around to follow what the Christ said, the Buddha. Buddhists, they practice even that. And so what is it in the root of all those teachings? That it came from God, Creator, it came from the Mother Earth to those sacred beings. And they showed by example. And there's where we learn. This is where the seed starts to sprout, because we see many people really caring about each other, not fighting each other. Not, I'm the one, no, I have the right, and they're willing to kill each other. They have killed each other by the millions to prove that they're right. To argue all the time, they're fighting. That's not, I would say in my own judgment, I'm sorry about that. The spiritual, not to be arguing or the belittling and destroying. On the contrary, it's about sharing, it's about love, it's about rebuilding and reconnecting to the spiritual source. And so 9 days from now, Belecheb Kanil, the 9 seeds, the things to come in order becomes to be a life. And the gift is then shared. Toch. Lachuch toch, ten toch. What is the gift in which we will know ourselves? Can these efforts of the Lords of the Light share to us an example how to navigate through the death process, through all the underworld, through what, let's say, we're facing in the world today? And then can we sprout to give a gift to life and to receive that gift from each other? Because the destiny of our future is depending on how we do what we do now. And so here we go, the 13A. Hunahpu, the Lords of the Light, the teachings of these sacred beings, into what path are we going to take. And so 13A, may we choose a good path for our peoples, for all life. May we choose to clean up the waters, clean up the creeks, rebuild the forests, disarm these great armies that they're so powerful, they're afraid of their neighbors. People living in fear, and the news and everything is just bombarded by all this stuff. Separate us from life. And that's just me sharing a little bit of observation. It's up to each one of us to decide what you want the world to be. And so may we choose wisely, may we meditate, contemplate, and look at the essence and the roots of life to see what you want your children to live. and or you want others to decide how you should live, how you should behave, what you should put in your body, what you should eat, whether it's healthy or not. That's okay because they're putting it out. But if you put something out that is good, they're gonna come in with all kinds of things saying, no, that's you can't do that, you can't share it, and you're gonna be taken out. So there's strength in unity, and there's clarity, and the intention needs to be clear. What do you want? What do we want our world to be? Do we want them to continue doing what they're doing with these gifts? So we have an opportunity to meditate now, to pray, reconnect to the earth. We go straight to the earth like the Ajpus did. They asked for help from the elementals. Those lords of light was in prayer and meditation, channeling, bringing in the sacred teachings of beyond human needs, but became the guidance of humanity. And so with all the great teachers and all that is already available to us, can we decide what our world to be? And so may you make beautiful choices, may you meditate and contemplate, pray about it, and bring the solutions to the world, bring that stuff forward. And that way we'll see you on the other side.